Hey everyone, it's Ace. So we are back playing Minecraft, and you might be able to tell from the scenery, but I am in my testing world, where we have all the redstone bits to the right, and if you are ever interested in seeing what this is about, you can go ahead and check out my videos on that. But today we are going to be focusing on these 7 plots. So you might be able to tell that these last 3 back there are a little bigger than these front 4, because today I am going to show you 7 different mini builds that I have came up with, and I don't know if they're even that good, but I just came off from the top of my head. You might have seen them before, but I just wanted to show you how to make them. But first I want to show you the area of these places. These all take place in a 7x7 area. The height is varied, so you just need to pay attention to the builds if you ever wanted to build these. But the last 3 over there are a 9x9 area, so if you ever wanted to clear out an area for these builds, then that's how large they would have to be. You also might be able to tell, but I am in survival mode for my hearts in the top left. I have everything here to show you the exact amount of materials for the exact way I build them. You can always change up the designs if you ever wanted to, but these are just my variations of them. But go ahead and freely change them up as you please. You might be able to tell that I have one of the best pickaxes here. I just wanted this to make sure I didn't make too many mistakes, because that is quite possible. I also have scaffolding for if I ever miss some blocks in high places. And I also have some pumpkin pie in my inventory, because you never know when you need something to eat. Like right now, I need some pumpkin pie. But this would be about it, so let's go ahead and get started onto our first build. So this first build is actually going to be a unicorn. So the supplies that I used is 5 gray concrete, some smooth quartz. I have actually never used smooth quartz in survival worlds before. I've seen this block before the nether update, but before the update it hadn't changed any texture from the original quartz block, but now it's a lot different. So I use this for the smooth transition between different things. So we got the 9 smooth quartz blocks, and then we get the 4 smooth quartz stairs, the 5 smooth quartz slabs, the 2 polished blackstone buttons. I chose blackstone because I prefer a darker button for the eyes of this unicorn, the end rod for its horn, and then we also need 4 purple stairs and a purple slab for the tail and mane. So how you start this is you find the middle of the plot that you may have laid out, and then you place 4 gray concrete diagonally from the center point to act as the hooves. Then from the hooves you want to place 1 smooth quartz block on top of each to portray as the legs. Then what I like to do is place 5 quartz slabs in this pattern here to minimize the height, and then we're going to add 3 stairs on each side to have a more curved body, and then add 3 blocks there for the full body. Then add 2 blocks for the neck and head, and then add another piece of gray concrete for the snout. Then you have the main structure of the body. Then we'll go ahead and move on to the eyes, 1 on each side of the top quartz block. And then after you do that, we'll go ahead and head up to the top of the unicorn and place in the horn on top of this quartz block. Place 2 purple stairs. I like to place them like this. Then with the purple slab, you go ahead and place it at the bottom part of the block in the center here. Go ahead and stand like this and place a stair like that, and then place another stair like that, and that is your tail. I really like this unicorn design. I've kind of changed it up from a previous design that I used instead with wool to act as all of this quartz, and I didn't have any slabs or stairs, but the wool did the trick. You can go ahead and do that if you don't have enough quartz. But let's go ahead and go on to the second design. Now design number 2 is going to be a Christmas tree. Now, as you can see from the chest, we got lots of variety in our block choices. I did this for the lights, but you can always change that up for the materials that you have. And of course, the nether stars are very difficult to get. You can always exclude those from your block selection, but I just did that for the star on top of the Christmas tree. But of course, you don't need that. But we're actually going to go ahead and move on to building this thing. And how you do that is you go ahead and again find the middle point and build up from there with your spruce wood. And once you reach the top, you're going to add 2 more leaf blocks and then a glowstone block on top, and around it you're going to place some item frames and then your nether stars in them to act as the star for the tree. Now after you're done placing those in, you can go ahead and plop on down and then get out your leaf blocks again. Then with these leaf blocks, you can go ahead and go from the bottom leaf block on this pillar and place 4 down like that. And then you do that for every side of this pillar. Then after you're done with this, it doesn't look too much like a Christmas tree yet. You go to the bottom 2 leaf blocks and then you build around them with your extra leaf blocks that you have. Oh, my bad to mention how much you actually need to build this, the numbers and all. I actually forgot what they were, but can you just go ahead and check back in the video? I apologize. But after you're done surrounding the bottom leaf blocks, you get this design. It looks very nice. It looks very wide, like some Christmas trees can be, but once you're done with this, you need to go ahead and add lights for the extra effect. Now for these lights, you're going to use item frames and different colors of concrete. Again, you can change that up, but how this design is going to go is we're going to start from the corner here and then do a staggering motion to create this lighting pattern all around the tree. And I'll go ahead and do that for the bottom section. And then you're going to have 12 left, which you're going to use for the top part of the tree. And I like to start up here and then go down, up, and again the same staggering motion. And then after that, we of course need some color to the tree. So go ahead and put all of your concrete in your inventory. I like to have sequenced colors, but you can always change that up to your preferences. And then how I like to do it is go red, orange, and yellow in the front there, and then go on from there all the way around the tree twice. But as you can see, I still have extra colors in my inventory. Here, what you're going to do is skip the 3 blocks that they do and come back to those colors later. So we're going to start at the other side of the tree, do red, orange, yellow, and then the other colors again. And then we're going to grab our pinker colors and then do the extras and fill them in sequential order. And then what you do for the top lights is you go ahead and go onto this side and place the red. So then after all this color with the lights, that should be the finished product of the Christmas tree. As you can see, it looks pretty nice. You can actually put shulker boxes under here to act like presents that you can go ahead and pick up whenever it's Christmas. And it is just a nice build that I have made. But anyway, let's go ahead and move on to build number 3. Build number 3 is a bit simpler with a lot less materials. We only have 16 blue concrete, 9 slime blocks to make it actually functional, 9 black carpets, 4 stone brick walls, 46 glass panes, and a ladder to get up to the trampoline. So what you'll go ahead and do is, again, find the middle point. That's what I always like to do with most of these builds, and go 2 diagonally from the middle point to put in the post to hold up the trampoline. Then you put in 1 post and then put a block on top of it to act like the outer edge of the trampoline, and then from that block you build 4 blocks from it in this direction. Then place another post, then 4 blocks in this direction, and place another one, and then do it until you're all the way around. And then that is going to be the finished product of this first part, and then we're going to add this ladder so we can get up to the trampoline quickly. And then we're going to add in some slime blocks in the center here, and then some carpets on top. So after you're done with this, you can go ahead and take your stained glass panes and put them all around the part, besides the part where the ladder is, so you can actually enter the trampoline. I do this to act as the net, and this is the part where it would be very helpful to have a silk touch tool in survival mode, because there is always a chance to make a mistake. So we are actually going to go 3 high with these glass panes, making sure you have a 2 high entrance. And then after you're done with these glass panes, that should be the finished trampoline. It's nice and bouncy, which you can put in a backyard scene or use it for any other purposes. But this is my trampoline. It looks very cube-like, but I think it can be easily changed if you just up the scale. But these are mini builds, so I kept it here. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to number 4, which is an elephant. So with this elephant, we would prefer twists and turns in the curvature of the body. So we're gonna use stone for the elephant. And now the amounts we're gonna use is 29 regular stone blocks, then 10 stone stairs, and then 3 stone slabs. And then we're also going to have a dark oak slab for the tip of the tail, and then some black stone buttons for the eyes. Now this is going to be quite similar to the unicorn design, with each corner from the center going to be diagonally to make the legs. And then again from there we're going to make a body on top of it. Now with this 9x9 shape, after these legs, we're going to add a head. Now with this head, we're going to place a block in the back to build from it, and we're going to build the head 2 above the ground, 1 in front of the initial body, and we're going to build the head 2 high. And it is also good here to have a silk touch pickaxe, because if you break stone without silk touch, it would turn into cobblestone. Now after you're done with this part of the head, you can actually go ahead and quickly add on the nose of the elephant, the trunk, then go ahead and add on the eyes. Then quickly we're going to add some stone stairs there, and this is going to make the tail, but it also is going to act as a simple way to get up on the elephant to build more of it. So here we're going to actually build the back part of the elephant, which is going to make some of the ears with some blocks going like this to make the bottom parts of the ears. We'll go ahead and do that on the other side. And then we're actually going to go up on top, and then we're going to place the rounded off ears here. And then we can go ahead and look and see that this elephant is looking pretty good. And then from here, we can actually add the last parts with the slabs and then the stairs here. Now actually this part is going to be a stair, and this is going to be a block. Those two are changed around, but besides that, this is going to be an easy access that you can actually ride the elephant, and it's also just a nice attraction that you can put in a zoo scenery if you ever wanted to do that. But anyway, let's go ahead and move on to design number 5. Now this is one of the bigger designs, which is going to be the cupcake. But this design is going to consist of some more smooth quartz, which is going to be the amount of 21. We're going to have 56 smooth quartz slabs, which is actually quite a few. And then we're actually going to have some smooth sandstone, which is going to be a stack and 50. And then we're also going to have a stack and 4 of snow blocks, which is going to act as the frosting, and then a red concrete block to make the cherry on top. Then with this, we're going to go ahead, go straight to the center of the plot and place in a block and make a cross formation 2 away from the block, like this. So 2 blocks away from the center point on each side of the block. And then we're gonna add 3 blocks going connected to each side like this to have this sort of circular shape. Then from here, we're gonna surround this whole thing in quartz slabs. As you can see, I've already started. And then again, from here, we're actually gonna build up another block from there. And this is actually going to be the plate. Now, after you're done surrounding it both those times, you're gonna go ahead and take out your smooth sandstone to act as the main part of the cupcake. Now, you can see that the blocks of smooth quartz are a bit lighter than the slabs, which is good because this acts as a layout for where we want to start building the design of it. Now, I don't make any of my designs hollow, but of course you guys can, just to save resources on a survival world that you might be working on if you ever wanted to make this for whatever reason. But I actually forgot how high this was, but I know that you have to build it until you have 9 blocks left, so you can make a bit of a center point. So we'll go ahead and start building up from the layout that we have, and then with those 9 blocks we're going to have a rounded off top. It doesn't look like much of a cupcake now, it just looks like a big block of, I don't know, just sandstone, I guess. But trust me, it's going to look pretty good after you're done building it. But actually we have to get back on top of here, and then we're going to add a layer of snow on top. We'll go ahead and add the cherry on top real quick so we don't have to go back on top of here. Now from this point we're actually going to make a drip over, I would say, and just 1 layer of that. And then after this is where I'm going to take out my sheet of paper and get the numbers for my preferred amounts for the level of dripping. So let me go get that real quick. So what I've got written down is just 4 rows of 4 different numbers in each row. So they're all different, but how this is actually written down is it starts off from here. We get a 2, then a 3, then a 1, then a 2. The next row, I did a 3, a 1, a 2, and a 1. Then for the next row, I did a 2, a 3, a 1, and a 3. And then for the final row, we got a 2, a 1, a 3, and a 1. Now this is the finished cupcake. It looks pretty delicious, doesn't it? But besides the sweetness of this cupcake and the mass of how just giant it is, we're going to move on to number 6. And this is going to be a tiny little robot. So for this robot, I chose to use more of a nether update type of block, but you can always change that. I chose warped as the blue type thing. I kind of wanted a bluer type color, and the blue warped button is all I found for the eyes that I'm actually going to put on the robot. I decided to make everything else the same color. So we're going to have 15 warp planks, 6 warp slabs, 9 warp fence gates, 2 warp buttons for the eyes, like I said. Then we're going to have the sea lantern as sort of inner core of it. You'll see that later. 17 iron bars, 2 stacks and 8 of light gray concrete. That's quite a bit, so you might have to go out and get some sand and gravel for that one. And then some black concrete. Now this build is quite cubic, but it is still a very cute design that I'd like to share. So I think how we're going to start this off is, again, find the middle point and make, from the side of it, we're going to make a line and another line. Then we're going to add more on the sides of them for the fall-on feet. And then from here, we can add a leg or 2. These are supposed to be some spring type legs. I don't know what I was going for, but this is what I have. So for this build, we're going to start in the front iron bars with light gray concrete, and then from this line we're going to go 2 back and then 2 forward, and then we're going to make this a nice big 5 by 5 square. And then from here, we're gonna go 4 up, and then go 4 over, and then 3 down to have a sort of shape like this. Now this is, again, very cubic, so this is just gonna be a giant 5 by 5 by 5 cube, I believe, with some parts in the center, which is gonna, this is, like I said before, this is gonna be the heart of it. We're actually gonna need some more light gray concrete for this. So here we're actually going fairly deep through here. We're actually gonna leave this front part open, but we're gonna build 3 blocks from the back. This is all gonna be just full on blocks. Then from here, we're actually going to need to dig out a part, and this is going to be the heart of the robot. I think it's right in the center of it, and then we're actually going to add a ring around it of black concrete to add a bit of contrast to it, and we're actually going to protect this with some gates. So this should be the whole body of the robot. Looks pretty good, doesn't it? But we're actually going to need a way to get on top, so I'll go ahead and build some scaffolding. So the next part is we're going to make a 3 by 3 square on top of this block and put on the eyes in the front. And then on the top of this, we're going to have a sort of hat on top of this robot, and with the same circular shape as we did as the beginning of the cupcake. And it is also going to have a 3 by 3 square here again. But of course you don't want to forget a little antenna on top of here. That should be this part of the robot done. Now I believe I only have one part of this little robot left, which is going to be the little robot arms. So from the center of this cube, we're going to place an iron bar, and then place it another one out from it, and then place 2 going forward like this, and then the same on the other side. And from here we're going to place a warped plank block, and then 2 warped slabs going in like this. We'll actually need to get a bit higher here, and then we can go ahead and add some more slabs like this on top, and it acts like a kind of claw to this robot. Now after I take out all the scaffolding, we can go ahead and see how cool this robot looks. Look at that! It has like some springy type legs and arms with like the little claws, and then it has the center with little eyes. It looks pretty cute, doesn't it? Now before we get into this last design, I would like to tell you guys that I would always be open to any recommendations for builds that you can make me attempt to build, and also redstone contraptions. I would like to test out different things and just have more creative ideas, and I would like to have a try it out. So down in the comments, just give me a challenge for a build that you might want to see me build, and see my attempt at it. But let's go ahead and move on. This last one is a special bear. You might know who that is, because I'm actually pretty clueless. But anyway, let's go ahead and see the materials for this. Okay, so we got a ton of wool here. We got like 5 stacks minus 2. Probably need a very large sheep farm for that one. And then we got some white concrete here, then black concrete, and then some pink wool. But anyway, let's go ahead and start building this bear with the materials that we have. This is quite a bit, so this thing is going to be pretty large. So let's go ahead and start with a sort of center-ish, a 7-block line from the center of this side, which is going to go all the way to the other side here, almost. It's going to have 1 block gap in between each one, and then we're going to actually make this 3 wide. So how high this is actually going to go, so we're going to go from this, it's going to be 10 more blocks high. So in total, it's going to be 11 blocks in height, which is quite a bit. That's why we have so much wool, And speaking that I have nothing hollow, it's gonna cost a lot. But again, I think hollowing it would be a savior of resources. But we're gonna go ahead and build this to its full height. It might take a while. Just like that, we are 11 blocks high from the ground. But don't jump down just yet. We will need a rounded off top. So 1 block away from this edge, we're going to make it all the way to the other side. So 5 blocks long and 3 blocks wide. We're going to add this top. And again, stop, don't move, make the ears. We want the ears of the bear. So that should be about it. Now, I'm not going to jump down, so I'm going to be safe and place some scaffolding. So here is the main structure of the bear. Now after this main structure, we're going to have to add some feet and legs. They're going to be quite small, so we're going to place a 2 by 2 by 2 cube of feet and legs here. This is going to be the design for that. And 2 above these, we're just going to make a 2 by 2 square, so even smaller arms. But right after that, we're going to stay in this area and carve out a 3 by 4 block to place in some belly fur, which is just going to be a different color, a bit of a darker color than the white, so we can get that contrast. So there is that fur there. So we're actually going to stay on this side still and go all the way up with some scaffolding, all the way up to where the face should be. Now with this face, we're going to be making a very nice pink mustache. So I think this is the design. We are going to build it 1 up away from the arms and make a line of each, and then above that we're going to make another line of it, so sort of like a Tetris piece. And then in the center here, we're going to have a nose. Now, there's a more important part missing. We actually need to carve into the build to put in the eyes. And then that should be the full-on face. Now, you might be able to see that we still have some extra wool. And that is to add some more to the back. It's not fully important, but I just wanted to make it a bit less cubic. As you can see, this is kind of not the right shape that I wanted when I was making this. So I decided to add a bit more of a rounded back to it. So we'll need to go ahead and scaffold on up and make this a bit more of a rounded shape, which is actually going to be just 1 away from the original blocks, and that should be close to it for actually building it, because I think I can reach it from the ground after this. But before you go ahead and leave and admire your build, you have 1 block left after this back, and that is for one of the most important parts of it. It's the tail. We have to put a little fluffy tail. It's going to be too high from the ground, right in the center of this back part. We got the tail. And if we go ahead and go to the front, we can go ahead and see that this is a very special bear. But when this is done, we have 7 different mini builds. Some of them not as many as others. I mean, you can tell a difference. It kind of scales up as we go along. It does gain in height. It would be a lot of fun to just wacky up your builds with these smaller ones, and I just hope you guys like these. But that will be it. I hope you guys enjoyed, but I'll see you next time.